And hello again, everyone. Welcome to episode 8 of our Baldur's Gate 3 live stream focusing on Ranger gameplay through the current patch, which is patch 8 that we are playing right now. For those of us who were here last week, you saw that we went into the Whispering Depths, looted everything that we could down there. We picked up the silken boots that keep us from becoming enwebbed, and we then went on to tackle the various phase spiders and the phase spider matriarch, and came out successful in that endeavor. And we picked up the amethyst key and journeyed back to the necromancer's lab, and that's where we left off. And that's what we're going to pick up this week. Didn't do anything off stream this week, just kept the save exactly where it is. So you can see that's why it says 724 at 1702 when we last left off. And we're going to pick right back up inside the necromancer's lair, and we're going to work through the various gates and traps around the book and pick up the Necromancy of Thay and attempt to read it and gain a benefit from it. And we'll kind of go into more of that as we get into the playthrough. As a housekeeping note, I did want to say thank you very much for the subscribers that we've picked up this week and the week before. Catherine Blake and Pat's Bam. I don't know if it's Pat's Boehm or Pat's Bame, but either of those pronunciations I hope are close anyway. But thank you both for becoming subscribers to the channel. We certainly appreciate it, and wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for all of your outstanding support, so thank you very much. I think without further ado, that takes care of everything that we needed to talk about, so let's just go ahead and jump straight in. And we'll see if we can get some lucky rolls here with the Necromancy of Thay. But first we'll look at some traps around the book and see what we can do here. So all right, so here we are, right where we left off, inside the necromancer's lab, and getting ready to look into the Necromancy of Thay here, sitting inside of this locked and gated area. So the first thing that you'll notice here is that we have a marble plate here that has disarm on it. Obviously a trap here, so we do want to try and disarm that using our ranger. So it's a DC of 10. We've got a +4 of dexterity. We might as well add guidance into that. So need some help. We did not get it. Okay. So with a trap, it doesn't matter if you have multiple disarm kits. I've failed it, so if I fail it, then there's a chance it's going to go off. It's not like a unlock where you just break a set of thieves tools. So I'm going to use an inspiration and roll again here. And we got a good enough roll to beat it outright. So I was hoping I wouldn't have to use that inspiration, and there's a reason for that coming up. But now it's obviously unlocked. We're going to go ahead and toggle the group mode, and we're going to go unlock the door. It was unlocked using the rusted key that we found over on the other side of the lair. So now we're going to move into the room here.
Necromancy of Thay. Sounds ominous.
Okay, and you see we have another trap here, another marble plate underneath the book. Now, there are a couple of ways to go about doing this. So first, let's take a look at all of these spider silk cocoons. And I apologize, my throat's a little scratchy today. Mostly because of allergies and that sort of stuff happened. You can also see that we have a couple of gargoyle statues, one on either side here. So if you're standing here in front, getting ready to pick up the book, you're right in line with either of these two statues here. So let's kind of think about how to go about this. So the book is sitting on top of this marble plate. You can see it. So the most likely thing that's going to happen here is if we move the book, that's going to trigger the trap here because of the plate that we're sitting on. So let's maybe pull some Indiana Jones here. For those of you who remember Raiders of the Lost Ark, I know I'm being old here, but hopefully you've seen it. In a scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark, there is a golden idol statue sitting on a pedestal, and Indiana lets some of the, and I'm just going to drop this onto the ground here, and Indiana Jones lets some sand, or puts some sand into the pouch and sets it on top of the pedestal at the same time that he removes the idol in an attempt to keep the trap from triggering because it's the same weight. So I'm going to try something similar here, and I'm just going to pick this up and set it on top of the marble plate. You can see it's on top of it. And now I'm going to pick up the Necromancy of Thay. And you see nothing happened. Okay? Now, you could disarm this trap, just like I disarmed this one up here, but there's really no need. That is what triggers the trap, and if you put, it doesn't have to be the wooden bowl, it could be any object that you put on top of the marble plate to keep it from triggering. Okay? So, you can see now we have the Necromancy of Thay in our inventory. We also have the dark amethyst in our inventory. If we look at the Necromancy of Thay, if we just attempt to read it,
the book is locked tight with no visible keyhole, only an oval recess in the cover's mouth. You try to examine the book, but the longer you stare, the more those piercing amethyst eyes draw you in.
A cursed book. How obvious. Whoever opens it deserves the fate that befalls them.
Curious. Why don't you take a closer look? I'll observe from back here.
I have my fair share of experience with dangerous books. I'll take that off your hands into more prepared ones.
Okay. Well, interesting conversations. But Gale obviously wants to get his hands on an enchanted book, and there's more of a reason for that than just the fact that he's a magic user. But we now have some options here to either just put it back without doing anything. We can either drop it and get ready to destroy it, or we can place the amethyst that we picked up in the book's cover. Now, when you do that, that is going to lock you in to being the person to read the book. I believe. It's been a while since I've done this part. And you're going to be locked into a series of checks, of ability checks that are based around wisdom. So you don't want Gale necessarily doing it because Gale's doesn't have a high wisdom modifier, and these DCs are going to get progressively harder the more we go through this. So you want somebody with enough wisdom to have some bonuses to help out on the rolls, because this is going to be pretty hard. And he's not really the best suited to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and place the amethyst in the slot, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I guess you do have an option here. It didn't lock me in. Now that it's ready to be opened, I have an option to put it away and do this with a different character, if I would like, or just give it to Gale right here. But again, Gale wants it for a different reason that maybe we'll be able to explain after we finish with it, maybe not. But for now, I'm going to open the book myself here, and we'll go through the rest of the encounter here.
The book's pull is irresistible. You feel changed, bettered for having opened it. Suddenly you are capable of anything. Felling mountains, darkening suns, conversing with the dead. Glyphs shift gently before your eyes. Words slip into your mind, onto your lips, forming words you don't understand. And something is trying to reply.
Okay, so it says that you're making a saving throw, and you can look, and it is a wisdom saving throw. So we're getting +3 from that. Gale would not be getting that at all. So it's good to open it with somebody who has a high wisdom score. So we're going to go for the saving throw here. DC's 10, not too bad. We can add resistance, cantrip, or bless, either one of them, but either one's 1d4. So resistance is a cantrip from Shadowheart, so we'll go ahead and add that in there, and we'll go ahead and do our dice roll. Okay, we need a little help. Okay. Hopefully that's our only bad roll here.
The symbols dart beneath your eyes, warping and twisting. Your head throbs, but you almost understand.
Okay, so we have another saving throw, and again it's wisdom. Now our DC's gone up to 15. Okay. Okay, we need really good rolls. Oof, just barely made it.
The world around you is gone. You can only see those glyphs, only hear those voices. You feel claws moving in the shadows. They pull at you, dragging you closer.
Okay, so now I've got a saving throw wisdom to either turn the page again or to force the book closed. I don't have any options here just to end where we're at. I'm locked in and have to go forward or try and make a saving throw to end it. Our DC is a full straight up 20. Okay, so I need to roll a 16 to guarantee success. I could possibly roll a 13 and get it if I get a perfect roll on resistance. But let's see what happens. Oh, and a natural 20. Oh, wow, what a time to roll a natural 20. Natural 20s, like, you know, always succeed no matter what. So they don't have to add any modifiers in at all. It's just a success.
The glyphs scream, branding your mind with strange runes. You see time rewritten, fate undone, your future thrumming with power. The book snaps closed. You've seen too much. What profane knowledge is now seared inside of you you should never have known.
Okay, so we got an inspiration back, which is good. That replaces the one that we used on the failed attempt to disarm the trap. And we got another inspiration. Or is that just repeating the next one? Well, we had 2 before, so we'll look. So now the Necromancy of Thay is here. Let's go ahead and check our journal entry, and you can see we did get 2 inspirations out of that. Okay, which is good. And that was the Search the Cellar quest, which is now complete. We chose not to destroy it, but we did completely unlock it. Okay? So that finishes that quest, and don't know if this is going to work. I've never tried it this way.
The book refuses to open. For you, at least.
Okay, that's what I thought was going to happen. But just wanted to be sure. Hey, doing a little inventory cleanup here. Don't mind me. Okay. I can keep that. This to the camp, and I think that takes. You see, we still have 6 trap disarm kits. It doesn't matter, like I said with the Thieves' Tools. If you fail a trap disarm, it's going to go off. So you don't want it to go off, then you use an inspiration to re-roll it. So, okay, so what happened with reading that book? What did that get us? Let's go back into our inventories here. So I'm wearing the silver pendant, and Lizelle is wearing the Amulet of Lost Voices. Okay? So she's the one that has the ability to cast Speak with the Dead. So if I look at her, she has the ability to cast that spell because of the necklace. Well, if I look at myself here, under Actions, I also have the ability to cast Speak with the Dead. This is now granted as an ability for me to cast that spell once per long rest, and it's just part of my character now. Nothing is dependent upon it. I'm not wearing a piece of jewelry that grants it. It's just now an ability for me to be able to do, like Find Familiar or Speak with Animals. I now have those. That's level 3 spell available to me to cast once per long rest. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually you can't because I need a target to do it. But once we get to something that's dead, we'll cast it, and then it will remain active, just like Speak with Animals does, and we'll be able to keep speaking with the dead as we go through here. So. So far, I haven't seen any negative effects to doing that. But maybe there is, and I just haven't gotten far enough through it or into it to notice if there's some sort of negative effect that happens because of it. But for now, let's head back up to the Blighted Village, and we'll continue on. Okay, so back up top, we can head back out. Let's take stock of where we are with our spells. So, Shadowheart's almost out. Gale's down quite a few.
Ahead.
So how about we think here. I think we'll be okay. Do I have a short rest? I do have a short rest left. Let's go ahead and use our last short rest. Everybody, yeah, that should bring everybody up. And let's look at our map here and see what we want to do. So this is that bridge that we were looking at up here earlier, up to the north. And we had a couple of options to get around to various areas here. So let's head straight up north up here and see what we can find up here in this area.
Right away.
Still alive, so that's progress.
And while we're here, we cannot cast... We can't cast it and get a reaction here, because the corpse has nothing to say. But now the spell is active and able, and we're able to recast it, just like these others. So if you can cast it, you'll see a green outline around the target to know that you're going to be able to talk with it and get some information from it. Okay, I already spoke with those. That's why I'm no longer able to speak with them. And here's the bridge. Yeah.
Never wanted the easy path.
I think everybody can jump this bridge. If they can't, it's not a big deal. Whoops. But I think everybody... Oh. Sorry, I was just looking at what the options were there. So maybe Gale can't make that jump. Nope, he can't. Okay, so I'm gonna immediately hide everybody. We're gonna continue on this way. Okay, so we got some camp supplies.
What's inside?
Okay, you can see that we have some hyenas, but these are not hostile. See, they are,
Best be on my way.
they're yellow, indicating non-hostile at this moment. Okay. Creatures, so go ahead and get some of this. Nothing here. Okay, more camp supplies. We'll continue on this direction. Wine is great for camp supplies. You just don't want to actually drink it. And there is a book here. pretty fun stuff, but nothing serious. Nothing that we need to unlock anything or give us more information about anything. Okay. So, continue on up this way. You can see that we have an access to a burning area up here. We're not actually going to go that way yet. More camp supplies that we can collect. And we're going to make our way slowly up here. Okay. You can see now we have, looks like, some enemies to deal with. So yes, we have some gnolls up here, and you can see from the minimap that they are hostile already. So there's 4 of them here. So let's kind of look around. You can see we have some high ground up here, which might be useful if we can find a way to get up there. So maybe moving to here and then to jumping up there, but it's going to be pretty difficult because we do have perception cones that are moving around this area, and as they move, those perception cones are shifting to be able to cover all of this area here. So maybe instead what we do is maybe move ourselves into a location here. Let's go ahead and move ourselves up to here, and hopefully we don't have any breaks in stealth. No, looks like we made it okay. Okay. Alright, go ahead and break the group here. Going to move Lazelle up here. Get her as close as I can, but she's not detected. Gonna move Gale kind of into a
Right away.
spot here. Shadowheart, I'm gonna move up right behind Lazelle.
Does this count as adventuring?
Okay, and for this one, I'm not actually going to use my ranger to kick this off. Okay, I am going to move my ranger over here. But I'm not going to use my ranger to kick this off. I want to use Gale to kick this off if I can. And reason for that is that they're all kind of lumped together into a location here. And Gale still has some good AoE spells to be able to cast here. And he can cast Cloud of Daggers right here and get everybody and not even move. Or just barely move. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Oh, okay, he missed. Alright. So now Cloud of Daggers is still active. Everybody took some nice big hits out of that. And now I can use my movement, so it looks like my ranger is inside the deception, or inside the cone, so but she can make attacks without moving, is what we want. So The Gnoll Fang is hurt pretty good, but if we look at Gale... Ah, Jesus. You're kidding me. Oh, man. Oh, wow. You know, as soon as I clicked on his portrait, it crossed into my mind, there's no way this game is actually going to attack him, is it? I'm inside the ranged command, but there's no way it's going to actually attack him, right? It did. And it did. Oh, wow. Sometimes I hate this game. Okay, so the Gnoll Flesh Gnawer, the one in the back there is the one that's going to move next, and then the Hunter, and then the Gnoll Fang. Okay. So I was going to try and attack the Flesh Gnawer to kill it, but obviously can't do that now. Oh man. So incredibly stupid. Okay. She's not going to be able to cast anything because they're all out of line of sight. She'd have to move, and that would probably put her into the detection cone. Yeah, for any of these, most definitely. This one... Yeah, she'd have to move to get into their line of sight. So I could probably... So I can cast it from here. Get a 55% chance to hit. And this is a cantrip, so like it's not a spell slot. 55, 50, 55. I think I actually might want to try and kill the Gnoll Fang if I can.
Bleed for me.
Okay, only got 2 hit points for that. Okay, so then Lazelle. I think I want to get Lazelle to jump into here so that future attacks, or that the upcoming attacks might go against her instead. Okay. So now all I can do is because now the Cloud of Daggers isn't going to really do anything. But I can try and get off either one of these. So the Gnoll Hunter. %, chance. Not great, but not bad either. Okay, so I'll end my turn. He's healing. Gnawing on some flesh to heal. The Gnoll Hunter's gonna go after Shadowheart. Back to Gale. Everybody else is dead. And that's why you don't want to cast another spell. Because once they're in there and they take that... If you cast a spell to break the concentration, then Cloud of Daggers goes away. And I knew it was going to be a guaranteed kill. So let's try and just get this in here. It's not going to matter whether he gets the hit or not. But he did. We'll go ahead and end his turn. Because this is where the real kill is going to happen. Okay. And then Lazelle, I'm going to, since I am going to be taking a long rest after this, I'm going to have Lazelle dash. Use her action. Dash. Get around the side. Doesn't have enough for an attack, except I can use action surge. Actually, let's not. Let's do our pommel strike first. Missed, of course. Do our action surge. And now do our attack here. Perfect. Okay. Group everybody back up.
This way.
Gale has got 6 hit points of damage. So dumb. So dumb. Okay. Now I can wait for a cloud of daggers to disappear, but I can do some looting in the meantime, so I'm going to come up to the corpse. Okay. Now let's take a look at the Gnolls here. Okay, kind of a shame that it says the Gnoll Hunter's not empty, but that to Lazelle. Search this stuff on the ground here. Okay.
Something good here, I hope.
And nothing. Okay. Now this is back down to the bridge where we were. Or can go back into group mode here. Search some of these other things that are around here. We do have another mangled corpse over there. The rib cages that we searched. Okay, sent to camp. Can read the letter. It's the same one, I believe, that we read previously. So, nothing special there. Okay, now we get down to... Oh, whoops. I toggle group mode instead of group hide. Okay. So now we can see the hyenas here. We have a regular hyena, a bloated hyena. So they're all bloated hyenas here. And now this is a... And there's also a dead gnoll down here. So this takes a little bit of... I guess D&D monster compendium knowledge to know what is happening here. And I'm just kind of opening up some of this area up here. Severed foot.
Keep going.
Always interesting. There's some more camp supplies. But what I meant, as far as the monster compendium goes, is that this kind of lets you know how the relationship between Gnolls and hyenas, and how this works. So I'm gonna take Shadowheart and Gale, and I'm gonna move them both up here. Hyenas are melee only. And it doesn't look like they can see up here. Nope, they can't. Okay. So, going to take Lazelle and kind of move her down here. Okay, and take Drellin and move down here. Now, Drellin has Speak with Animals on, and I've never played it this way before. So, you know what? Let's try it this way. See what happens. I've never tried to talk to the hyenas before.
The creature's eyes roll back in its head, equal parts bliss and agony. She'd eaten, feasted, and yet, looking into her eyes, you can see it wasn't enough. She's still hungry.
Come, see, my flesh becomes new flesh.
You hear what comes next before you see the sharp snapping of bones and a yelp of pain as her body starts to twist and undulate. You watch with cold realization. This isn't the end of one life, but the start of another. Gnolls can spawn from the corpses of dying hyenas.
Okay, so I passed the Arcana check there. So my ranger obviously knows the D&D Monster Compendium. Yes, this is how gnolls spawn. They spawn from hyena corpses. So that's what's happening here. And if I let this continue, all of these hyenas are going to turn into gnolls. There's a lot of them down here. So I would probably not want to see that happen if I can avoid it. But, you know, I'm kind of interested to see. I think I am going to play this normally. I'm gonna pick the ranger option here.
Land a swift strike against her skull. She yelps, then goes still. As the life fades from her eyes, the gnoll within her dies too, stillborn.
Okay. So this is how I've seen it play out before. Yeah, see, they all have Inogu's hunger. So in one turn, in 2 turns for this one, in 1 turn for this one, and 1 turn for this one, they're going to turn into gnolls. Okay? This one does not. It was not infected. So this is just a regular hyena, but we're gonna have to deal with it. Still, no matter what. So it's got a 72% chance to hit, so we're gonna go ahead and reapply Hunter's Mark here. Okay. And now we're gonna try and make the attack here. It is too close, so I'm gonna roll disadvantage here. But if I move away, it's gonna be a target of opportunity, so that's perfect. That's exactly what I want to see. Okay. So, looks like Lizelle is, or was detected, so she's in the fight now, but Shadowheart is not, and Gale is not. So, let's see if we can move Gale here, and see if we can just cast a level 1 magic missile and all of them go toward her.
Tormentum.
Okay. So perfect. That got that kill done. Okay. Now Shadowheart. Now that the detection cones are all gone, Shadowheart can move up and try and take a shot here against one of the bloated hyenas. These two have 1 turn until they turn, so we want to concentrate on killing them first. Okay. So that one died. Perfect. So now we're done. Okay. So now, remember, she has momentum when she starts, but there's not a whole lot she's going to be able to Oh, this is my... Okay. Never mind. So let's go ahead and... I can't fly. Step on my feet. I thought that was Lizelle I was moving, not the,
Creator.
instead of Lizelle, but instead of the Raven. Oh well, so let's take a shot here. Actually, you know, I've got Magic Missile. Because I am going to be taking a long rest, so doesn't really matter as much.
I will ascend.
So now I can move Lizelle finally. Perfect.
Place is overrun with gnolls.
Okay, group
Vile
everybody up.
beasts. Nothing good is born from a corpse.
And we can do some searching down here. So,
Rip them from top to tail.
book. Search this ribcage here. Nothing. Hyenas. Nothing. Cage. Thing. We do have a letter here.
Better make camp soon. Might be a while before there's another chance to rest.
Okay. Doesn't look like anything useful in there. Okay, now this is what I meant about being able to cast Speak with the Dead on something. It'll be glowing this green color. So I can recast Speak with the Dead here.
In lingua mortua.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Gnolls. Tearing. Biting. Tavern. Hideout. Secret. Wizard's shipment. Chest. Rugen. Fled. North. Lucky. Son of a...
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, so you learned a little bit about what's going on here. Ooh, a hand crossbow. Okay, there's some shipment orders. Deliver the chest to me unopened, read the first sentence again. Pretty good. Okay, so journal's updated for that. We'll get to that here in a second. But we are going to take a long rest before we go do that. Okay, check these hyenas. You're not going to find anything on the hyenas. Well, I never have. Lots of good camp supplies.
No traps, please.
Okay.
Best be on my way.
Now we can continue on down here. You can see, you remember when we were, have we not explored down there? Maybe we haven't. Okay, well we'll go do that. I thought we had been down there already, but I guess we haven't. So let's
Might be
go
useful.
loot the rest of this stuff here. Because all of this is really good camp supplies. And I mean really good. The pumpkins are half a long rest by themselves. The half-eaten apples, I'm not sure about. But we'll take a look here. Got one more here, so now let's look at our inventory. And we'll move a bunch of this stuff to camp. Yeah, see, the pumpkin are 20 camp supplies each. So their carnival squash are the same, so they're really good. Okay. So half-eaten apple is worth some camp supplies. Just when you're desperate. Okay. So looking up here, we have a bridge that heads into another structure over here. We also have this way, which leads around possibly down into a cave area here, and then back into this on fire area that we were looking at earlier. So you can just go up here real quick and kind of open this up a little bit. Okay, but we're not going to go there. We're going to go back. Head down here. And explore this lower part. Now, it makes sense now that we haven't been down here. So head down here and we'll just come down this area. An iron pan. Always useful. Whoop. There's a skeleton here. Almost forgot. Okay, now that's a very interesting ring. Stealth +2 and sleight of hand +2. So sleight of hand is going to help you picking locks and disarming traps. Stealth obviously helps keep you from being detected, but you get another -1 to charisma. So I'm already getting a -1 to charisma ability checks. Wearing this thing is going to get me another -1. But we'll see if that becomes a problem or not when we go through this. Okay, doesn't a broken wagon here. Doesn't look like we can loot anything here.
That's curious.
Okay. So it found a rock here. I'm gonna move everybody back here just so I can clear out some space. Okay. There's a bloodstone underneath it. Okay, nice. Got some skeletons here.
It's been a while since these two breathed their last.
Okay, so we got another inspiration. I think we were maxed out on inspirations though. It says there are harper and druid symbols on their equipment. Okay, so that's gonna encumber cell. So around here, and there's a way to get up, which takes us right back to the top of the bridge where we were. So let's look at our inventory here quick. Move some of these camp supplies out of here. Okay, and Lizelle picked up, she already had a longbow, she picked up another one. So I think I'll probably keep one of those for Will, possibly, if Will's capable of using them. Because I don't think that Shadowheart is proficient. Yeah, she's not. Longbows are a martial weapon. She's not proficient with any martial weapons, and obviously not Gale. But I think I'll keep one for, maybe two. One for Will, one for Asterion. Okay. Another book here. Letters. Okay, so let's head back. We can climb back up here, right where we were, but no need right now. We're going to continue on back down where we were. We're going to continue on down this way. Oh. Holding the Alt key pops up a toll collector's key over here. Just hidden in the middle of nowhere, right there.
A key. Wonder what it opens.
No, I'm pretty sure we're about to find out. And the keen-eyed among you have seen Karlach on the opposite side over here. We'll go start this counter here.
Hold up! One more step and I'll put a bolt through your eye! No sudden movements or you're dead. You looking for me? Hurt or not, I won't miss. Lung, heart, arse, or eye. Take your pick. Tell me what you're doing here. Now.
Okay, so intimidation or persuasion. Either one's a -2 because of that charisma. But let's try persuasion. We're gonna add our guidance bonus in here. It's only a DC of 5.
Alright. Maybe the blood loss is making me soft. But I'm going to trust you. For now, I'm in a tight spot. I might not be able to get out of it alone. Alright. Come on over here. But fair warning, you might find this hard to believe. I'm a fugitive. I escaped the Hells, and the bastards who were holding me there are trying to take me back. Really? You're serious?
As she winces, agony shoots through you, as if your bodies share the same wound. Then you're lost in visions of demonic armies as you tear through a landscape of fire and blood, the Blood War. You saw it from above.
Welcome to the stream.
We'd passed through Avernus. This woman
We're
was
just
on
letting the
front
cutscene play out here. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to let me know.
You're inside my head. Hold on a minute. You were on that ship with the tentacles and the worms. I didn't think anyone else had survived. I boarded in Avernus. That ship was my way out. You're lucky I did. The place would have been crawling with cultists if I'd stuck around. And they'd have dragged us all back to Avernus. I was a prisoner, forced to fight in the Blood War. The eternal battle between bad and worse. Most souls in Avernus are just meat for the grinder, but not me. I held my own. More than. Turns out that I've got a knack for killing demons. And I enjoy it. And that made me a valuable asset. Devils don't like to lose their assets. Yeah, not far from here. Gang of cultists cornered me in an abandoned Tollhouse. I took out a couple, but I need them all dead. Make 'em scream. I come with you just to see them bleed, but I'm too busy bleeding myself. I'll be here when you're done.
Okay. So, this is Karlach. We don't know a whole lot about Karlach. Other than she was attacked by some cultists somewhere near here. And she was fighting in Avernus, or in Hell, as far as D&D goes. And that's all we really know, other than the fact that she wants them dead. So she was good at killing demons, which, you know, plays well into what we do. We like killing demons ourselves. So I'm inclined at face value to trust what's happening here. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to pick a side, so to speak, at this exact second. So what I did do, though, was heal Karlach. You can now she stands up and she goes into her backpack, picked up a few things, and healed herself the rest of the way up. So, always helps, you know, be inclined to help people out, so to speak. But what I am going to do is move up here and I'm going to jump over. Okay. If I go into the backpack, it's stealing. I'm going to look around and see if there's anything else. Doesn't appear to be. We can go have a see if there's anything else to learn from Karlach.
Take your time. Oh, it's only my soul on the line.
Okay, so nothing else to learn. So she wants us to help her out by killing some cultists. So we'll, said they were nearby. So let's kind of go take a look and see if we can find out anything about these cultists. So up here we've got a ladder. There's also another corpse that we can speak to down here. Okay.
In nocte concilium.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Vance. Toll collector. Jumped to escape. broken. Gold basement. Locked. I fell. Dropped key. Anywhere. Away. Safety.
The spell's power remains. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, so that key that I found down there, this is the way you find out that the key's somewhere nearby. I was actually just hitting the Alt key to see if I could see where his body was, but I was down there close enough that it actually found it for me. But yeah, the key, he jumped off of here, and it killed him in the fall, and then the key fell further down here. But that's the key he was talking about, that's the Tollhouse key. So
More for me.
we're gonna go back up this way and we're gonna cross the bridge to the Tollhouse. Okay, we're gonna do some searching while we're on the way here. Milk cans and vases. I don't know if you can search these. Okay, can.
Dead Gnolls. Looks like someone toyed with them. Made the pain last.
Okay, so there's obviously a good fight here. Buckle is dead out here. Look like a ranger of some sort. Anything else here? Okay. And now you can see that we're at this area up here, and we have an NPC character out here in front, looks like, digging through the corpse of one of the dead Gnolls. Okay, this is where that ladder was, around the back of this area. So this looks like where the toll master jumped off of this area. Okay, nothing in these.
Just another crate.
You see, you can use it to get up here into this top area. And there are some people inside. So we'll head down here,
What's in here?
do some searching along the way. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Certainly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments or anything as you see us going through here, feel free to let me know. So we're going to just continue searching through this outdoor area here until we get up to Rurik here. And this is going to start us on the Tollhouse section of the Risen Road. So we'll go ahead and let this cutscene play out.
You won't get any further this way, friend. Road's blocked up ahead. Rockfall in the ravine. Perfect spot for an ambush. I killed the biggest, ugliest one myself. My friends inside took care of the rest.
Okay, so there was a fight here. Rurik and his friends inside took care of the Gnolls. This is probably also when the toll keeper jumped off and unfortunately led to his death. And again, we're just going to take any camp supplies we see and send those directly to a camp. So we'll finish looting around the outside here. That should be about it. There's a couple of piles of bones up here, and that's really about it. And there's a rib cage down here, I believe. Yep. We'll just search this real quick, and then we'll head inside.
Only thing you give a dragon is bad gas.
Okay. So you see we have Trin and Anders over here. Let's just go ahead and talk to Anders.
At ease, friend. The Gnolls hit us hard, but this place is still safe. It's under Tyr's protection. Save your praise. The fight was a disaster. We lost 2 men to the Gnolls, and they weren't even our target. In truth, we could use some help. Our mission is holy, but we need to rest. We're paladins of Tyr, sworn to protect those in need. He sent us here to hunt a devil. Kill the fiend for us, and we'll reward you well. She has the form of a tiefling, with a single horn. But she's an infernal being, straight out of the 9 hells.
You recognize the description. The wounded tiefling you met by the river.
She slaughtered countless refugees. Yesterday she butchered an entire family. The mother had been pregnant.
Okay, failed my religion perception check here, so we're not going to learn any more about the Paladins of Tyr because of this, but I think it's probably in our best interest here to keep this a little bit under wraps as far as what we're doing and why we're doing it and that sort of stuff. So let's kind of hold off on letting him know that we've met Karlach.
She led the Gnolls we fought last night, so she can't be far from here. This is the sword of justice, blessed by Tyr. I've wielded it since I swore my oath. It's all I have, but it's yours if you bring me her head. This monster must be stopped.
Okay, so just like I mentioned, we don't really know exactly what's going on here. We've gotten 2 conflicting reports. We've gotten one from Karlach that says that there were some cultists who were trying to kill her and take her back to Avernus. And then we've got the story from Anders here, which says that they're paladins of Tyr, and that's Karlach is not actually a tiefling, that she's actually one of the devils from Avernus. So right now you're not entirely sure who's telling the truth about anything up to this point. So that's why we chose to kind of conceal the fact that we've met Karlach, because you just don't know enough at this point in the story to make a decision as to who's doing, who's right about what. So let's just take a look around real quick while we're in here, and we'll get all the stuff out of the way. None of this is marked red, so we can just take all of it around here. And this is probably going to run me back and forth around. We can search the burlap sack. Nothing here. Can't take the traveler's guide. Okay, there's a book back here. And there's a household prayer. So we can look into our inventory here, read through the household prayer. It's a Luna to guide. Interesting. But nothing really important in it. And here's the book that we picked up. It's talking about Tyr. and what it means to be a Paladin of Tyr. It's some interesting backstory, but it's not really telling us much again about what's going on. So I'm going to break the group and just take my ranger up here to the top floor. Just to see if we can do some searching up here. There's another book we can take. No need in taking the mug. It's not worth anything. More camp supplies. Again, always sending those directly to the camp. No need to clutter up your inventory with them. Okay. Pretty soon we're going to be hitting our carry weight, I think. Added armor. Yeah, we're going to be getting real close here. Okay. Anything out here? There is a plate on the table, but it's not worth anything. Okay, wooden barrel, nothing left. So, we can head back downstairs. And we'll group everybody back up and we'll talk to Trin here. See if we can learn more about what's happening with the Paladins here.
If you want to go poking around in the cellar, be my guest. Plug your nose first, though. Corpse, half rotted to mush. Must have been down there a 10-day or more. It was a tollhouse. By the time we arrived, it was more like a slaughterhouse. There's more monsters than coin moving down this road. There's a locked door down the hatch. Doesn't look like anyone's managed to get in. If there's any gold left, that's where it'll be.
Hey, interesting. So we learn now that that this is definitely the Tollhouse, and that there is a basement. It's got a corpse in it, and we probably have the key to it, because that's the key that we found earlier. So let's go ahead and finish off the rest of this in here, and then we're going to talk to Sorel. Is a trader, so maybe we can get rid of some of these. Violin, nice. Again, all the bard musical instruments that have been added are really cool. They're really cool to see. The first playthrough that I did, none of that was there because obviously bards hadn't been added into the game, but for all of you who are playing through as bards, you now know where to get some of these bard objects and instruments. Okay, so we'll just quickly finish looking around in here, and then we'll talk to Cyril and see if we can free up some of this carry weight. We're, like I say, getting really close to being encumbered. Yep, see, everybody's getting really close. Okay. Almost done. Baguettes are always great camp supplies. Okay, so there's a supply pack up here. It's good, we'll be sure to pick that up. Lots of camp supplies. Always a good thing to have. Okay, bedroll down here. Oops. Another couple of burlap sacks. More camp supplies. We're going to take the supply pack. Oh boy. Oops. I think this is going to be a little tricky. Okay. Yeah, it's taking me outside to try and get to those books, which obviously isn't what you want to do. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So using the jump action to reach that is, there's nowhere to jump that I'm going to be able to land anywhere around here. This takes me upstairs and outside. So there's nothing I'm going to be able to do to be able to get it. Let's see if I can use another character to grab it. Okay. So you see also that we do have a refugee here outlined in green. So we can recast our Speak with the Dead spell here. See if we can gather some more information about what's really going on here.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
My children, good. Gnolls, arrows, careless. The pact, power. Fallen lady, Zariel. Fear to survive.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, now things are getting a little bit more interesting here. We can check our journal and kind of take stock of all of the information that we have here. Here's the interesting part that we just learned from the dead refugee here. We learned that Anders and his band are actually servants of Zariel, posing as paladins of Tyr. So this is why I was talking about earlier and trying to conceal information from both sides of this, because we just don't know enough information. And it turns out that Anders is actually lying to us. They're actually servants of Zariel, who is the ruler of the nine hells, and they're trying to get Karlach back. And he's been concealing that from us, but we've been able to talk to the dead and figure out what's really happening. So the whole interaction with this group here is not what it seems. Okay, so now we kind of know which side we want to take. We're not going to help them kill Karlach. We're going to side with Karlach, and Karlach wants this group dead. So before we do that, let's talk to the trader here.
We've less mouths to feed since the Gnolls jumped us. 2. Both stalwarts of Tyr, sworn to uphold justice. Luck had nothing to do with it. This is our calling, and Tyr is watching over us.
Okay, so it's not really what she's making it out to be, but they certainly are sticking to the story, so to speak. So just going to clean out a little bit of... Actually, I'm not.
Hope you can make good use of it.
Going to do it here. Forgot. That's something that I don't like about the inventory interaction screen. When you're trading with somebody, it gives you the option to send it to the camp, but you can't actually send it to the camp. No matter how many times you click on it, it's not going to remove it from your inventory and send it to camp. You have to do that through your own inventory screen. So just did that just to clean up my inventory a little bit. Now let's go in here and see what we have for sale. So some scrolls. Other than that, nothing serious in here. The arrow of lightning damage, those are actually pretty nice. But nothing real serious, but there's 1,000 gold here. So let's go ahead and clear out as much inventory as we can here. And I still have some wine in my inventory that I need to send to the camp as well. So we don't need any of this jewelry. Now, again, your interactions with traders is based upon your charisma score, and my charisma is taking a hit here because of this. So if I look at it right now, it's 7 for the bronze ring. I don't know if I take it off, if this is going to reset it. It's not, but I'm still getting a -1 on my charisma here because my charisma is 8. So the bronze ring would sell for 7. However,
hope you can make good use of it.
If you take that same bronze ring, which is here, and you move it to Gale, who has a +1 ability check on his charisma, whereas I have -1. Now if I go and do this trading again...
Need any supplies?
Wherever the bronze ring is, the Gale can now sell it for 8. Your charisma score directly impacts how much money you're going to get from an NPC trader. Your charisma score influences that. So if you're trying to maximize your money, then you basically transfer everything to your highest charisma character and have them sell everything for you. That becomes really important when you're selling big ticket items like the ruby that was, 1,500 gold. That can make a really big difference in how much money you get when you sell it. For most of these things, though, if you look at the prices, we're getting 20, 10, 8, 6 gold, 31 gold at the most for some of this stuff. So we have a couple of high price items here. That's why we gave them to Gale. The paintings, which were high priced, and the gems. But for the rest of it, it's not normally worth it for me to transfer everything to Gale and have him sell everything. It's just a waste of time for me when I'm not trying to maximize my money that much. But just keep that as an option. If you want to get the most gold you can, then give your items to your highest charisma character before you go into the trading screen, so that then they can trade all the items for you. But for now, I'm just going to have Lae'zel here clear out most of her weapon inventory here, because don't need hardly any of these. Like I said, I'm going to keep 2 of the longbows, but everything else that's in here, I'm just going to sell. So we'll go ahead and clear these out. And again, I'm not really paying much attention. I am going to keep the hand crossbow. None of the rest of these we need. I don't need 3 longbows. Okay. This clears out our weapons. Don't need the shield. Don't need these simple boots or the leather boots. We don't need the violin either, even though it's cool to have another bard item that we've been able to find. So I think that's found a drum, a lute, and now a violin as musical instruments for bards throughout the playthrough so far. So that's really cool to see. I don't need any of the helmets. The leather armor I don't need, so I'm left with the padded. I don't think I need this. Gale was the only other one that can use it, and I think I upgraded him to leather armor +1 during one of the previous streams. So I can go ahead and sell that. The fluorite shard isn't going to get worth anything. So now I'm just left with basic stuff that I've been hoarding, which I really should just go store or get rid of, because I'm not gonna be using them. I don't think in the playthrough. And the hand crossbow, let's look and see. So Gale is proficient with light crossbows. Oh, but I think that was the only reason I would keep it. So I don't think I actually need the hand crossbow. But I'll keep it just for now. So then Shadowheart, she's carrying some of these other things that was going to encumber Lae'zel, so we'll get rid of. We don't need the padded armor. The scale armor we'll take a look at here in a second. Then Ravelin is really carrying most of the trinkets and higher priced items that didn't have a lot of carry weight. So we'll get rid of all of these. Bloodstone, separatory funnel, and the round flask. I think that ends everything here. Yes, it does. Shadowheart's empty, Lazelle's empty, so Gale's the last one here. We're gonna run out of gold here on her before we get finished. So I think I'll start selling the books first, because these all weigh 1 pound worth of carry weight. Okay. Gonna have to hold on to landscapes. We can get rid of the rest of these. Okay, so insufficient gold to be able to buy, just 4 left. 6, none of the rings or anything is going to be able to work. Simple robes, too much. Okay, so that clears everybody out as much as we can. And there's nothing here that I'm going to buy. Like I say, the arrows of lightning damage are nice, but nothing that I really... So I do need to probably split this poison pack up and sell some of those off, but
hope you can make
nothing
good
for
use
right
of it.
now. Okay, so we've looted everything up here, and looking around this area, okay, bedroll there. Don't think we looted the shabby wardrobe. There's nothing in it. Okay. Couple of bedrolls here, and all right. What am I missing? Send me a chat and tell me why I can't see the hatch. Tell me why I can't see the hatch. Okay, so we'll send that to Shadowheart. Take the quarterstaff and send these to camp. Don't think I'll be able to loot the burlap sack. I can. Okay. I am missing the hatch. Hatch is not... the hatch is in here. That's why I was missing it. Okay, so we're going to go down through the hatch here.
Corpse smells ripe. Enough time for its killer to have moved on.
Okay, so Lazelle has something to say here. Let's find out what that is.
Fools, each and every one. Archdevils like Zariel know only deception. These souls are destined for the hells, as should be yours, for running their infernal errand.
Okay, well, I'm not going to end up siding with them, but...
Chakra, I will not deny the allure. I have felled many a beast, but no devil has yet tasted my blade. Very well. We find this one-horned tiefling and collect our prize, but take care with your bargains. You flirt with infernal forces few can resist.
Okay, well, we're not actually going to side with the agents of Zariel down here. So just quickly looking around, we do have a dead toll collector down here that we can cast Speak with the Dead on. So let's go over here and take a loot real quick. Another book. There's a Tollhouse ledger. We can take a look at that. Bunch more camp supplies. Another light crossbow. 'Where we're going to be set for camp for a while, and that's good, because we're going to need to take a long rest here in a minute. Now remember, down here in the basement, the toll collector outside said that there was some gold that was in the basement. And that's what that key that we found outside was for. So this door behind me is probably going to lead us into an area where we can loot some more objects here, but that must have gone to split. But I'm the completionist type. I'm the type that's going to go look through everything, and even if I don't necessarily need to. So you'll see me looting almost everything that I can loot, just to see what might be around. Doesn't mean that you have to, but I'm taking the opportunity to make sure I maximize everything that I've looted here. So more camp supplies. Looks like one last rack over here to this side. Don't need bottles. Oh. Just take all of those. And again, like I've shown you through the various other live streams here, you never know when you're going to find very, very useful items. Okay? So, innocuous boxes and stuff in burlap sacks in the middle of nowhere can very often hide stuff that is very useful or can give you very needed information to help you progress through some of the side quests that you're doing. So, before we go in here, let's go ahead and cast Speak with the Dead on the Toll Collector.
In lingua mortua.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Toll collector murdered. Goblins. Laughing. Cutting. Hiding. Frightened. Gods abandoned me and friends.
Well, that's not very good. Got abandoned there. So let's go ahead. Shows that the door's locked here. It's now unlocked. And that's because of the toll collector's key that we found out there laying on the road. So, like I say, it pays to have the Speak with the Dead spell so that you know that there's a key out there to be found in the first place.
Step carefully. There's a trap.
Potion of Vitality, that's always good to have. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and split the group here real quick. Because we're trying to perceive traps. Actually, you know what? I don't need to yet. I know it's coming, so we have everybody together. It's just more chances to perceive the traps as we go through.
Trap. Be cautious.
So far, the Ranger's been doing pretty good at finding all the traps. It's like Gale's just running all over the place. Need bottles. Lots of camp supplies. Potion of Hill Giant Strength. Awesome. Very, very useful item. Okay. So far, nothing else special here. More burlap sacks. Nothing. That was a nice box. More camp supplies here. Wooden trunk. Nice. Bunch of jewelry. Okay, already checked that one. Base. Nothing. Take these camp supplies. Did encumber me there. So we'll go clean out a bunch of these items that have done that. Okay. So, first thing is to get rid of these camp supplies that I picked up. Wine, you can see, it's £1 for every bottle that you pick up. So, camp supplies like that can take a lot of weight. Okay, and I need to move this over to Lae'zel. Got way too many poisons here. We're gonna split this. We're gonna take this down to 5. Okay. The others, put them over here. I take, split this down to 5 again. And put those 5 over here. Rest of these, I don't know if they'll stack up, they will. Okay, the rest of those Gale can sell. I'm gonna do the same thing with the trap disarm kits. Split that down to 1. Take that extra trap disarm kit and move it over there. Okay, so some more books for Gale here. And that's about it. So scale mail's 14. We're already wearing scale mail on Shadowheart. I've got the +1 version of it on my Ranger, so don't need the scale mail here, so we'll prep that for sale as well. We've got, yeah, we got potions of speed on everybody. We do have 2 potions of invisibility, so we'll split that 1 and 1. Probably gonna be best used for Lae'zel to be able to get her into position during various combat encounters. Okay, so now we have another room here. Well, let's go ahead and split the group. Okay. Nothing else here needed, so we'll walk in here. Like we have another trap, quite possibly.
Nasty surprise. Caution is warranted here.
Added armor, nice. Don't need it, but something else to sell. Most of these vases and things like that are not going to have anything in them.
A trap. This place is more dangerous than I thought.
Gale keeps finding traps for us. Nice. But it only takes a click to find out if they're really empty or not. So it looks like all the traps have been found in the room. So we'll be able to deal with those here in a second. Lots of camp supplies. If I had to guess, I probably have enough camp supplies now with all of these to be able to make it through the entire playthrough without looting anymore. We've been looting some really good high-end camp supplies. Potion of animal speaking. Interesting. And I should have sent that poison to Gale since I don't need to keep it anymore. Let's... Do have a studded shield over here. Pouch we can search. Nothing in it. Bookshelf we can search. Nothing there. Cabinet. Okay. Then here on the table, bottle, carafe of wine.
There's a pressure plate in the chair, but I'm missing something.
Okay. Figure just by me getting close to it. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, and again, these large bottles, I've talked about these earlier, they're worth some money, so if you want to pick them up, you certainly can. I'm not going to, though.
I'll take that.
Pick up a couple more wines here. Those to camp. And this to Lazelle, so she can carry it instead of me. And I'll come back and split that. Send that to Gale just so he can sell it. And don't think this is the book that's going to get us anything. No. So that will go to Gale to be sold as well. Okay, so now you heard something there about a pressure plate in the chair. Triggering it. So I'm going to go ahead and split the group here. And I'm going to take Shadowheart. And have her sit in that chair. We've got another chair over here. So why don't we have Gale go sit in it? And that's what opens the secret door. Okay. Now before you go running in here, kind of look around at the room a little bit. You see, we do have what looks like something on the floor here. Possibly trapped. So I'm going to move Raphael up here. Take a look. She doesn't get any notifications about anything. Okay, but I'm gonna try not to jump on that. Okay, so there are traps in here as well. But this is probably the room with the gold in it, quote unquote, that the toll keeper was talking about. Okay, so there's 2 gold there. Great sword here.
Watch how you go. There's a trap.
Okay, potion of healing. A very expensive plate. Greater healing, very nice. Gold, a bronze necklace, some more gold. Okay. There's a wooden chest here. I didn't get any notifications about traps. We'll just open it, take the gold. Nice. Okay, we've got some metallic gloves. Helmet. Various weapons and shields. Okay, not too worried about being encumbered right now. Not having to walk that far to get around. Okay, so this is that same play that we've read before, and just pick it up and get it ready for sale. More camp supplies, more bottles. Traveler's chests are normally pretty good. Perfect. Now we have to be careful because we're getting close to the pressure plate again. So we can pick up the great sword. There's a great axe +1, which is right there. There's also a quarterstaff around this side, and some bases. Probably aren't going to happen and have anything, and I don't want to click all over the place here. Be careful. Okay. So I think that's going to be good for...
Have to keep going.
Oof. Almost walked right over it. These are going to jump. I move here and then jump out. Just have to get close to it and jump around it. Okay. Alright. So, like we've talked about in previous playthroughs, if you want to disarm these one by one, you certainly can. As long as you roll well and you have enough disarm kits, you don't have to, I mean, you can certainly do it. A more convenient way to do it, if you don't see something like the trap, or you're not interested in spending the time to look around while you do, is you can just click on items and you can drag them on top of the vent, and that will keep it from discharging any gas or fire or anything like that. And there's plenty of objects in here that you can click and drag onto all of these vents to cover them up. So if you're not interested in going very slow and you just see a trap and you want to disarm it, you can just easily cover it up with something. And that way, if you accidentally trip a tripwire or a pressure plate or something like that, it's not going to do any damage to you, because it's none of the vents are going to open up, do anything. So just another easy way to kind of go about taking care of the situation here. So actually I need to move Gale manually, and I need to move Shadowheart manually as well. And you can see the secret door closed behind us. So now I can clear out some of this inventory. It's going to be actually easier if I just click it and drag it. So might as well give the metallic gloves to Shadowheart. The leather gloves don't give you any bonuses one way or another, so I can let Gale wear them, but nothing really did out of them. Get rid of all the other high weight items here. Okay, quarterstaff, and the Great Axe +1. So we can look at this. It's a two-handed weapon. The only two-handed user that we have is Lizelle. She's wearing or carrying the Everburn blade that we got from the prologue. And like I said, when we got lucky during the prologue, I was able to pick that up. There's not a whole lot of things that are going to be better than that throughout the playthrough, and this is a perfect example of it. The +1 Great Axe. Great Axe is 1d12, but looking at it, it's 3 to 14. We're 4 to 17 here. So the Great Sword versus the Great Axe, you can see that the Great Sword by itself is 2d6. Whereas the Great Axe is 1d12, so you have a lower chance for damage than you do here because you're rolling 2d6 as opposed to 1d12. But because of the 1d4 damage from the fire, this is going to be a bigger benefit in almost every way. Now, there are instances where you don't want to cause fire damage. Like I was talking about, we're going through the Whispering Depths. There are times when you're standing in a pool of oil, and if you use a fire attack against somebody, it's going to light that oil on fire and possibly explode under where you're standing. So having a non-fire-based high-damage weapon as a backup to the Everburn blade is a good thing to have. There's no harm in it. Now, the Great Axe does, weigh a lot. It's 3 and 3.15 pounds of carry weight, and it sells for a lot. You can sell it for 500. Well, you don't sell it for 500. That's its worth. So it's an expensive item, but the few times that you need to not cause fire damage, the Great Axe +1 is a great backup weapon to have. I'm not really interested in maximizing my money. Like I say, right now I've got almost 5,000 gold. So I'm not too worried about it. If I do need gold, I'll sell it, but I'm probably going to end up keeping it for Lae'zel as her backup weapon as we go through the playthrough. So it looks like we've looted everything that we need down here. Okay, so now we're back up top. And we need to deal with this situation here. With this group. We realize that they are not who they say they are. They are the people that we want to get rid of. So we want to go about this in a smart way, but at the same time we also need to take a long rest. You can see our spells have been severely depleted. So we are going to just use this time and take our long rest here. It's going to give us the warning about not having any, but we have a bunch of camp supplies in the camp chest. So
My, what manner of place is this? A patch of ground to call home. Some rest for the wicked, after all. What would suit the occasion? The words to a lullaby, perhaps. The mouse smiled brightly. It outfoxed the cat. Then down came the claw. And that, love, was that. They do know how to write them in Cormyr, don't they? Well met, I am Raphael. Very much at your service.
okay, interesting. While we're trying to take a long rest, we were met in camp by a completely random stranger here named Raphael, who started off with a poem, of all things. So, suspicious doesn't begin to describe what you should be at random things like this, but always be wary to begin with. If during your conversations you find out more reasons to not be wary, then you can choose to relax a little bit. But always start out being suspicious, okay? So I'm gonna kind of take the middle road here.
Neither. The fox, rather. Hiding, in a word. A silent observer, about to break the silence. Of course, what I have to say merits some privacy, as well as some more, let's call it, refinement. Yes, this encampment is decidedly too middle of nowhere for my tastes. Come. There, middle of somewhere.
Okay, now you're even more suspicious. Obviously a very powerful individual in one way or another here. So now we need to kind of find out what's happening here.
The House of Hope, where the tired come to rest and the famished come to feed lavishly. Go on, partake, enjoy your supper. After all, it might just be your last.
Okay, now things have gotten threatening. And don't know if you notice up there above the fireplace during that cutscene, but there was a picture of an actual devil from Avernus. Wearing very fancy garb, but yet winged and horned. So little clues like that, if you're paying attention to what's happening around you during the cutscenes, can give you little insights as to what's happening here. But now, there was just a veiled threat here that's been made. So I'm going to start taking a more adversarial tone.
Are you not entertained? Well, far be it from me to disappoint. What's better than a devil you don't know? A devil you do.
Holy in hells. You're a Cambion.
And so much more. Am I a friend? Potentially. An adversary? Conceivably. But a savior? That's for certain.
Okay, so now we're in a pretty bad spot here. This is actually the visage that was in the portrait above the fireplace. A Cambion from Avernus that has now revealed itself to us, and probably don't want to be making deals with devils here. Literally or figuratively.
Come now, why play hard to get when you're in deep over your tadpoled head? One skull, 2 tenants, and no solution in sight. I could fix it all, like that.
There's the picture that you saw during the cutscene. Gave you a little hint beforehand, if you managed to notice it in the background of the cutscene. But again, I don't think we're going to be making deals with the devil here.
And what is madness but a denial of reality? Still, I've a feeling you'll change your mind before it's changed for you. Try to cure yourself, shop around, beg, borrow, and steal. Exhaust every possibility until none are left. And when hope has been whittled down to the very marrow of despair, that's when you'll come knocking on my door. Hope. Such a tease. I've always wondered what a laughing mind flayer sounds like. All those pretty little symptoms, sundering skin, dissolving guts, they haven't manifested yet, have they? One might say you're a paragon of luck. I'll be there when it runs out.
Okay. Well, some very interesting stuff happened during that cutscene, but one of the most important things to realize is that at the end, he doesn't seem to realize that you've been able to fight off the change in the tadpoles. He doesn't realize that this is something different than a normal tadpole transformation. So he's in the dark about what's happening, but the devils in Avernus are the mortal enemies of the Mind Flayers, so he's taking an adversarial tone there with you as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out throughout the full version of the game when it comes out next year. So let's go ahead and get some quick conversations out of the way here and see if anybody has anything to say after all of this.
This devil Raphael flaunts his paltry wings as if he wants to impress us. You saw the red dragon slaying his infernal kin above hell's fires, did you not? Next to a dragon, the devil's a gnat. When I am Kithrak, I will take my Queen Vlaakith his head as a trophy. Githyanki Knights, the riders that chase the Nautiloid. They are the commissars and enforcers of my Queen Vlaakith's will. Vlaakith bestows no greater honor. To wield a Kithrak silver sword is my destiny.
I will earn my queen's favor, and I will conquer every layer of hell should she command it. The Geich are my kind's mortal enemy. It is not unusual for the Kithrak to give chase. To penetrate the hells, this is unusual. But I'm not one to question the wisdom of my queen. I can see but to the horizon. Vlaakith's sight pierces the many planes.
Okay, so nothing that we didn't know previously. The Githyanki just dislike everybody, but the Mind Flayers especially. And when anybody goes into Avernus, the devils are going to attack them. So standard stuff that we're kind of used to dealing with. So talk to Will.
The devil with the silver tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think? That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you what you're least ready to part with. And then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything.
Very true. And one of the other reasons we're not going to make a deal with any devils here.
Now there's a bloody devil trailing after us. Well, this gets better and better. Shop around, he said. He seems sure we won't find anything. And he might be right. We've had no luck so far. Maybe. But all that, take your time, I'll wait nonsense. He's playing with us. He reminds me of, well, someone I used to know. Someone that liked to play with people. Creatures like them don't play games unless they know they can win. Maybe. But he's not the only one spinning a web for us. This is no ordinary Mind Flayer parasite. Who tampered with it, and why? What do they have planned for us? And why are we important enough that a devil comes knocking on our door? If we find those answers, we might have a chance.
So all this is very valuable information, giving us hints and clues about what's going on.
Do you feel as flattered as I do? A Cambion came courting us. Yes, they offer you an apple, but they're the worm that lurks within. Still, don't let his bluster fool you. All that talk of desperation, it merely illustrates his own. I think he wants something from us, badly. And in that knowledge lies our opportunity. Our souls. But I suspect that's but his opening offer.
And another pending cinematic. This is what's fun between the patches. As you update,
Raphael
you see
is a
those things that
Cambion,
pop up.
which makes him part human, and what is human is fallible. By figuring out his true intentions. Fact 1. There's something very strange and very powerful about our tadpoles. Fact 2. A devil offers to take it away. What if the tadpole is what he really wants instead of the customary price that is our souls? If I'm right, there's a mighty bargain to be made. Remember his Cormyrean rhyme? Down came the claw. Perhaps we should start growing our nails.
So maybe he does know exactly what these tadpoles are. And because he knows that they're not ordinary tadpoles, he wants that power for himself. Very, very possible.
Bloody hells. Literally. Just when I think I've got a grasp on our dilemma, a devil shows up. No matter. We've dealt with every other oddity thrown at us lately. We can handle this one too. Now, as for this Raphael, he knows our secret. He claims he can help. What do you make of him?
So, we've come upon this before. This type of action to get into her thoughts. If I fail this, it leads to a pretty big decrease in approval from her. So I've been avoiding it. Wondering if at some point I should probably take the chance on one of these. I think I'll skip it for now.
No doubts at all. He seemed powerful and very knowledgeable about our problem. Not the worst prospect we've stumbled across. As long as you can look past what he is.
Now I'm starting to think that she's covering up something here. So let's see if we can make this, see where we are. So it's a 10. So get guidance on top of that. Okay.
Anticipation. She is testing me somehow. About Raphael.
Actually, yes, you're right. Very intuitive. Clearly the devil was trying to sow doubt among us. He's clever. My order uses the same tactic when dealing with enemies of Shah. You don't need a scourge or a rack to break people. Fear and self-doubt is sufficient. When actual pain comes, the victim's already done the heavy lifting for their torturer. There were no right answers with that devil. He was toying with his food. Us. I respect his craft. As should you. Watch out for that devil.
Okay. So yeah, she was trying to fool us into giving her an answer that she was going to disapprove of. So while we're here, let's go ahead and readjust our
What's on
party.
your mind? I question the wisdom of that decision, but so be it. I'll be here in the meantime, idling away the hours.
And add Asterion and Will back into the party temporarily.
Shah's blessings upon you.
Actually, before we do that, let's get some of Shadowheart's conversations.
You already know my biggest secrets. What more can you ask? She took me in when no one else would. Without her, I wouldn't be alive. She's my mother. She nurtures me, cares for me, loves me. Don't believe the lies the Selûnites tell. What? Besides my life's calling and the greatest problem I've ever faced? Well, I like night orchids and can't swim. Is that the sort of thing you meant?
Interesting.
It's nothing to laugh at. Save your questions if that's how you're going to react. No, I can't. Quite literally, I mean. With my memories suppressed, I can't betray Shah's secrets. But I can't remember much of myself either. If I manage to return to Baldur's Gate and fulfill Shah's mission, then my memories will be restored. That is not for you to know. Leave it at that.
Very interesting.
Of course. It is an act of faith, not to be undertaken lightly. Shah will reward me when I succeed. I don't know. Something to do with the tadpole, who's to say? Another mystery to add to the pile. Very. It wanted to lash out at you. Luckily, I was there to stop it and save your life. Anything else? We don't know how this works, not really. Maybe it varies a little, person to person. Don't worry. It won't matter once we find a cure. And if we don't find one, well, we'll be past our worries then. No. Whatever it is certainly not that. Was there something else?
Okay, so let's remove her from the party
Sure.
for now.
Fine. I'll be here whenever you rediscover your taste.
And we'll add Asterion and Will back into the party.
What can I do? Lead on.
Well met. Ah, that's the spirit.
Okay, so now we're going to make sure we have the equipping done here. So Asterion can handle longbows, and Will is just proficient with rapiers. So just light armor for Will and light armor for Asterion. So he's got padded armor, and so does Will, so that means the padded armor that I'm carrying can be sold. Since it's the same as this padded armor, that padded armor it's Asterion, so I'll keep it that way. But then the longbows I'm carrying, I can swap that over here and have Will equip a longbow. That's 5 to 12 versus 5 to 10, so it's just 1d8 plus 4 as opposed to 1d6 plus 4, so gives him a little bonus there. Nothing else about any of this is useful. Nothing else that anybody's carrying is useful. I'll move that greatsword over here, get rid of the weight. And actually I will split these two. Split this 2 and 2. Go, here it is. Split this 1 and 1. Take 1 potion of speed. Put it here. Take another potion of speed. Put it here. How many potions of healings do I have? Good. So I've got a couple extras, so we're going to split this with 2. Move them to here. I'm going to take those, put them here. I've got 1 more I can split here. Take this one and put it here. These basic poisons are fine. I can. Then there was, yeah, everything else is set up. Okay, so the short bow, I can swap that with the light crossbow. The light crossbow for Asterion that's a simple weapon. It's not a martial weapon, so he's proficient with it. So that gets him a slight bonus bonus to damage there. So there is a scimitar here, which I can upgrade over his dagger, and then that dagger can go back into the offhand slot. So that ups his melee damage. And I think that's it. Because Will has the rapier, that's the only martial weapon that he's proficient in. But yeah, I think we're gonna leave that where it is. It's a finesse weapon, but it's not light, so I can't give him an offhand weapon to go along with it. I could, though, give him a shield to go with it. Alright, I think that's good. So again, I'm not planning on using
Well, hello.
these two characters
What can I do for you?
in the playthrough, very much, if at all. But
Sounds awful.
if I have weapons that I'm going to sell,
You sure about that? I'm one of, and just when
if I have weapons I'm going to sell that
What's
that
on
they
your
can
mind?
use, I might as well give them to them to use.
May the darkness protect you. All right, some.
Okay. So now, did get a journal update there. Okay, yeah, this talks about just what we just talked about. Her memory has been repressed. And then find the missing shipment we picked up out there on the road. We're going to get into that here in a sec. Well, we probably won't get to it today. If I had to guess. Let's actually look at my inventory, make sure I'm not carrying anymore. I'm carrying 1 camp supply, which is perfect, which is usual. So let's see here. That's 6 plus each of these is plus 24, so that's 30. So 2 of these. Interesting. I split that, and they turned into 6 camp supplies. There were 5 previously. So that should give us 40. Okay, so auto select, good. Take a full rest. Okay. So now we've gotten all of our
I crave blood.
all of our
At least
spell
things have
slots
stayed
back.
Interesting.
Okay. Our Raven is still up. That's a benefit of the new patch. When you long rested, any of your conjured familiars would disappear, and you have to do it again. This just saves you from having to do it. So I think we're gonna get ready for this encounter here. Okay, and to do that, we are going to try and approach this somewhat systematically. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is to get everybody up top. And I have no idea why Lae'zel's not coming up top. But we do want her up here as well. Okay. The reason for this is going to become pretty apparent as we do. With all encounters, you want to take and hold the high ground as much as you possibly can. That gives you advantage on ranged attack rolls and that sort of stuff. In this case, it's also going to limit how many ways we can be approached. They can come out this door and go up this ladder and come up to us up here, or they can come up that ladder and come all the way around here. And I think those are the only 2 ways up or here. So that gives us 2 avenues of approach to guard and multiple ways for us to stay safe from various types of attacks from them. So what we're going to do is kind of bring everybody back here. We're going to put our ranger, I think,
Need to find a way forward.
Gonna move my ranger up here. And can I jump up to here? No, I can't. But I can get up to here. And while I'm up here, I can attack him right from here. So I can start things off with a ranged attack right here. And then see what develops with these other characters as I go. So the first thing I want to do, make sure everything else is right. Yeah, I think everything else is ready to... Actually, I want to move Lazelle here. And yeah, Gale's in a good spot, I think. I'll move him here so he's able to move closer if he'd be. Shadowheart. Can I move her here? Yes, I can. Because we have 4. We have the trader, who's probably going to come out this door and come up this ladder. Then we have a fighter and maybe a ranged rogue type down here, which are going to try and come up this way, probably. Then we have Runic, who's standing, Rurik, who's standing out here, who's another fighter type. So he's going to take a while to get him into the fight. So let's go ahead and kick this off. And before I do that, I'm just going to get a new save. Not that I am going to reload a save. Told you I'm already not going to be doing that, but... So let's actually get an ensnaring strike on him. An 85% chance to hit.
Impero Tibi! Your
Perfect.
violence hasn't gone unnoticed. It's about to be returned in kind.
Okay. So... that ensnaring strike did not hit him. Oh, it hit him, but it didn't take effect. So, don't like that very much. Okay. What we are going to do with Gale, though, is we're going to move him into a position to cast Cloud of Daggers as an area denial spell. So we want him to cast it on this walkway here. So that they have to walk through it to come this way. Okay. And then I'm going to move him back out of the way. So he is not able to be attacked by ranged attacks and break his concentration. Okay. So then that'll end his turn. Okay, everybody's in combat. So now we can get off any ranged attacks against anybody. We will. So I think I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt. 75% chance to hit. But that's going to move her down there, which we don't want. Oh, and it looks like they have another way up here. They can climb up onto here to get up. Okay. So we don't want her to go down there to cast Guiding Bolt. Can she cast Guiding Bolt here? Again, she would have to go down there to do it, and she's probably not going to be able to get back up. Cool. Okay, so she's not able to get anywhere here. Any position to attack. Yeah, she's going to have to get down there to do that. I'm debating it. Let's see how much... Oh yeah, you can see what her movement's going to be to get down there. It's going to be more than half. So, but she might be able to get back up. So, can't hit him from where we're at. How about this? Rick's gonna take a while to get into the fight here. So, I think we are gonna do this. Actually, since I'm doing that, let's go ahead and cast Bane. And I can get... Yes, I can get all three of them with this cast. Okay. And then I can move her back up here and try and get her as much out of the way as possible. So we'll end her turn. Okay, so the Raven here. I think I'm going to take the Raven down. Okay, not enough movement to get him in there. Okay. Can I fly down here? I can. Okay, let's try and rend vision. Missed. Okay, Rook. Nice. Nice, nice. Okay. Rurik threw a firebomb at me. Nice. Okay. Alright, so I can get a shot against Trin here, so we're going to cast Hunter's Mark on Trin. And we're going to take... We're not going to be moving here. So yeah, let's go ahead and brace. Now we'll go ahead and take a shot. Okay, 16, a good hit. Now I can still move out of the way from here. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Okay, he's moving up. And that's it for her. Okay, perfect. Alright, so Lizelle here. If I move Lizelle down, then she's going to be unsupported by anybody else. So I think I'm going to move Lizelle over here. Actually, no, I'm going to leave her. I'm just going to end her turn right where she is. Okay, Gale's still got the concentration going there. I think that's going to be fine. So I'm going to let Rurik go. Strange. Okay. Let's move Shadowheart back here. If she can cast Healing Word. And
can't afford casualties now. Take you.
Okay. Got some healing back anyway. Okay, so Anders is going to come up the stairs. That was interesting. Okay. So, Anders is going to come up the stairs here. No. Okay. So, we want to get in a position where we can attack Anders when he comes up, but at the same time...
These boots have seen everything.
Okay. Don't think we'll be able to get a shot off. No. Okay. So we're going to wait to reapply Hunter's Mark from Alan. And we're going to get ready for Anders here. It's going to be coming up really quickly. Okay. So Lazelle can get down there and make an attack. So I think that's what we're going to do. We can support her out here. So let's go ahead and get her down there. Okay. Right up close and personal. And now we're going to make a menacing attack melee here. I could try and push him back, but ooh, I might. If I can get to here, I might be able to make a pushing attack and push him off the cliff here. See, that's the stuff you need to be aware of in your environment here. The pushing attack, you can see when it was going to hit, the blue line was going to knock him off the cliff. So I did 15 points of damage. It, you know, did a bunch of damage to him, but the rest of it knocked him clean off the cliff and killed him. So it's basically a one-shot at that point. And that's the type of stuff to be aware of, to try and take advantage of if you can. Okay? So pushing attack, very, very useful. So moved her back up. Okay, so he did make his concentration saving throw. We're going to move him out of the fire. Okay. Because the spell is still active up here, and Rurik is going to be coming up this way. So we want to keep that spell active from his perspective, because he's going to come up and go run right through. Okay. So now I'm going to move her up here. Try and again cast. Give Jordan a little more healing. Okay, and just end that turn. Wouldn't be able to get off a shot on him anyway. Dashing, that's good. Right through the cloud of daggers, did 15 points of damage. Right. Thorel cast Mirror Image, which doesn't really hurt us for now. Now we have our ranger here. So let's go ahead and reapply Hunter's Mark. I think we'll be able to kill Rurik here. 95% chance to hit. Yep, perfect. Okay, that ends that. And now Lazelle can get down here. And see if we can take Sorel out. Okay, so having her being frightened would be nice. Yeah, let's just go ahead and try this attack. It's got a 40% chance to hit, and that's just because it's mirror image. You can see up there as for her. I can't dispel that right now. I could try and break her concentration, though. So, you know what? Let's try that. Let's try and get... Oh, I can't. I can't. She's the last person in the turn. Yep, so I can't skip to somebody else. So, we'll try the attack. Oh! Nice hit. Perfect. Okay, she got an inspiration for that one shot. Okay. So let's check our journal updates here real quick. Okay. So we killed Anders. Karlach will want to hear about it. So that completes this quest because we decided that we were going to kill Anders instead. This one is not going to be complete until we talk to Karlach about it. Okay, let's do some looting. We cleared out all the outsides, but now you can see all that stuff that we sold her. We get right back. So, plus some additional items that she had. So, so yeah, interesting. So, the scroll of Melf's acid arrow we don't need. Send that to Gale. The arrow of roaring thunder, I'll put that on Jorvalen. The gold doesn't really matter, but we'll move Jorvalen this. So, I think what probably needs to happen here is we need to start moving some of these big heavy items over to Shadowheart. Yep, some of this free weight. Okay, so do we have great swords and things like that? Yes, we do. Again, we're just getting her carry weight down to the point where she can actually move again. Because there are some really heavy items. So, but we are getting it down slowly but surely here. That's not a big deal. Shields are... Okay, I don't think we'll be able to take that. Take that? Okay, good. So now I can see if I can take some of this stuff. Cannot put that there. Probably can't put it there either. So we'll have to start cleaning out some of these secondary items that Jorvalen can take. Prefer not to have to move that if I don't. Okay, so that's about it. So it looks like she's just going to be encumbered. Unless I want to choose to drop some of these things, which I certainly can. But I don't want her to be heavily encumbered, which is where she is right now. See about moving some of these other things. See if we can get her down to just being encumbered. Okay, so now she's just encumbered, not heavily encumbered. Oh, that's good. Okay. So, let's leave her down here, actually. We'll actually move her over here since it's going to take a while for her to get there anyway. We can move Gale and Shadowheart together over here. See if we can group these three up. Okay, Lizelle, let's move her out so she's no longer in this group. And we'll go see if we can look at Rook. Okay, just a couple of daggers, an acid vial, some camp supplies. Okay, so it did encumber me. See if I can move one dagger or something over here. Perfect. Okay, go look at Trin. Okay, arrow, camp supply. Don't think I'm going to be able to take any of these things. Gale can hold that. Lizelle can actually hold that. Nobody's going to be able to take this. Yeah.
With haste.
Alright. Because the other thing we're going to have to deal with is Anders. Down here, where we left him dead, has a door now. So actually, yes, I am going to take Lizelle up here.
Let's get
I'm going to bring Raphael down here, and we're going to loot Anders. The Sword of Justice. We're going to take this all with us. Okay, that's going to encumber her, but I'm actually not too worried about it. And I'm going to send all of them up here. And you'll see why here in just a second. Where's Lizelle at? Oh, there she... For some reason she wasn't moving. So let's go ahead and take Gale out of this party as well. We're going to send Gale back in here real quick. And he's going to go loot that last armor piece. From here. From Trin. That's going to encumber him. Okay. And now everybody's going to be back together. Okay, perfect.
Another step forward.
Now we're going to go this way. The reason we're going to go this way is right there. There's a waypoint. So we're going to take this waypoint. Okay, we're going to go back to Sylvanas Grove. Now we have the opportunity to sell our stuff. We don't have to walk that far to get here. So we can sell all this stuff off. And why isn't Lizelle moving? Got that group error, it looks like, again. We're going to take her out of the group, and then we're going to put her back in the group. See if that fixes it. It doesn't. So we're just going to pull her out of the group so that we don't have to worry about it. We'll move everybody to separate groups. This glitch I've encountered before. Not entirely sure what causes it or why. But what it does is takes one of your characters and separates it from another character. So either Lae'zel or Jorvalen could be leading the other two characters, but not both together. So you have to kind of split one of them out of the group and move them both individually. What I'll do is once you restart, it's going to be cleared up. But for now, can't do anything about it.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
And now we'll put her back in the party since we're here. We'll go ahead and trade and
Need anything else?
see how much we can unencumber ourselves here.
You're not the only one in need.
Okay, so 1115, and again, we're looking to get rid of the encumbering items here the fastest, so okay. Oh. Okay, he's gonna run out of gold real quick with us selling these things. Those pack supplies I can send to camp. Now clear out these. Then see if we can get rid of anything else. Okay, it doesn't look like we can't with his, so is there anything else of his that we want to buy? So we have Rain Dancer already on Gale. Yes, we don't need that. There's a very heavy Great Axe. We've already got a Great Axe +1 that does a very similar damage, so we don't need that. Leather Armor +1 would be quite useful. For our light armor users, and we have quite a bit of gold here with a bunch more to sell, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the leather armor +1. Okay, and that's gonna allow me to sell more of these items. Okay. 125. Worth a lot. Okay. And all the poisons. Sell all those. And all these thieves tools, and this trap disarm kit. Okay. So here, and again, he's going to run out of gold here very quickly, which is good. The Alchemist Fire will keep. Okay. And last here. We'll deal with the Sword of Justice later. Let's get rid of the rest of this stuff. And that looks like it's about it that we can pull from him. Okay.
Sylvanas be with you.
So now we'll take everybody down to the other trader. Again, we're gonna have to split Lae'zel out of this.
Indolence breeds madness.
And move her down there. and Jorv Island. But nobody's encumbered, so they should be able to get there fairly quickly. Okay. Group Lazel back up. Talk to Damon here.
Looking for steel? I have, well, something close.
Okay. Now there is a scale mail +1 here, which would be. It's not as good as Githyanki half plate. It's the exact same, so we might as well keep that there. It would be good, however, for Shadowheart to have the scale mail +1. We also have a light crossbow +1, which would be very beneficial too. So I think we're going to pick up this scale mail +1. And I should be having Gale buy this. It's $1440 to buy the crossbow, but if I had her do it, it'd be $1500, so it just saves gold having him make the big purchases. So I'll go ahead and buy that as well. And then the longbow is 5 to 12. The light crossbow +1 is 6 to 13, so that's a straight upgrade. Or her. The leather armor +1 is going to somebody else. Let's go ahead and sell off all of this. The smuggler's ring we're gonna keep off until we need it. Okay. I think that about covers it. Yes. So some of these other items, like the Morning Star +1 and the Dagger +1, are obvious upgrades. You can get them. So getting a short sword +1 and a dagger +1 is a straight up upgrade for dual wielders and that sort of stuff. But I'm going to see what we have as far as equipping items here. So the scale mail +1 goes on to her. And then this scale mail goes to Gale to sell. The +1 light crossbow +1 is a straight upgrade for her over the longbow. So he can then sell that longbow, but that's also a straight upgrade for me. Give that longbow, longbow got traded back to her. So that's a straight upgrade for me over the longbow that I had. Sorry, just looking through the inventories here.
What will we do for work when we get to the city?
Whatever we want.
Okay.
I think I'd make a fine teacher.
So, as far as Tyr's protection goes, okay, we'll inspect this so that we can see. It's basically a greatsword +1, which is the same as what I have here with the Everburn blade. It's +1. The Ever Burning gives me that 1d4 fire damage. This gives me a +2 because of the +1 modifier. Takes that +1 to +2, but it also gives me Tyr's protection. So we can inspect this and see what Tyr's protection does. It basically allows Lazel to cast Tyr's protection and up her armor class by 2 once every and it lasts until her next long rest, except it's a concentration check, meaning that if she gets hit and she fails her saving throw, then that Tyr's protection is going to be lost. So it's a good sword in and of itself, 4 to 14, compared to the greatsword, which is 3 to 14. So basically what this allows us to do is keep this as our backup secondary and have Gale sell the great axe instead. That's basically what it allows us to do. And the leather armor +1 is going to be given. I'm actually going to send that to the camp. Yeah, I'm going to send that to the camp so I don't have to carry it. Hopefully I'll remember it's still there. Watch, I'm going to forget. Okay. And then to clean things up a little bit, I'm just going to do a short rest, get everybody's hit points back. Okay. So, I think what I'm going to do to finish this out is to just get everybody back out here. Pull Lae'zel out of the group again. And get us back where we were. Oops, why am I going that way? Be going this way.
Without delay.
Okay, I'm going to take the rune circle and get everybody back up to the Tollhouse where we were. And get us ready for next week's adventures.
Blackets will be done. One true way.
And like I say, when I reset this split party thing, we'll go, it'll correct itself. Won't have to worry about it then.
An efficient path.
No one back home will ever believe this. Wonder if the gods are watching me. Let's move.
Okay, we'll get here, we'll get everybody grouped up. And we'll head through the rune circle. We'll head back to the Risen Road. Gonna take us back here, right where we just were. Okay. Alright, and I think we're gonna end things there. We'll go ahead and give us a new save here. And I think we're gonna end things there. So we managed to clear through the Tollhouse. We're going to want to go talk to Karlach to finish off that quest and maybe do a little more searching around the outside here, and then we're going to get ready for what was mentioned to us previously, which is this blockaded area here. There's another story that we've gotten a glimpse of, which is the missing shipment side quest. So we're going to go ahead next week and concentrate on that to start off with, and then see if there's more exploration up here through the Risen Road. If not, we're getting pretty close to some other side quests here, and part of the main quest with the Githyanki Patrol. So we'll probably venture into some of those things as well next week, because this survivor portion is the missing shipment, and the Githyanki Patrol is part of the main quest. And then we'll be moving into the Goblin Camp and Priestess Gut, but that's probably going to be 2 weeks from now. If I had to guess, we might be able to get it in next week. We'll just have to wait and see if we get that far through it or not. We won't get into the tea house or anything like that next week, but we'll see if maybe we can knock some of these out next week during the live stream. So again, thank you all for being here. I certainly appreciate it. We've had a record number of views on this stream and viewers that have popped in to take stock of what we're doing. Feel free to drop any notes or comments in the chat if you have any questions, or if I mess something up really badly, feel free to comment on it. Or if you just have any questions about what we're going through and things like that, feel free to let me know. I try and pay attention as much as I can through the chat. If I see something pop up, I'll try and respond to it. But if I'm busy looking at something, I will check it and get back to you as quick as I can. But until then, until next week, Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you then.